First story. A blonde girl was speeding and got pulled over by the police, who asked to see her driver's license. She angrily exclaimed, "If only the chief of police knew how you guys work. Just yesterday, one of your colleagues confiscated my license and now today, you're asking to see it again." Next story. Someone called the traffic police and reported, "There's a Mercedes 600, license plate 2340 FF, speeding at 240 kilometers per hour on Highway 34. The officer on duty was surprised and asked, "How are you monitoring the vehicle to have such precise information?" Driver yelling, "Well, it's driving right behind me." Next story. A guy was invited by his friends to go out drinking. But since he arrived late, as soon as he sat down, his buddies all shouted in unison, "You're late." Punishment, heavy punishment, so he downed a penalty shot of liquor. Then a second, then a third one after another kept being poured. After the party, on his way home, he ran a red light and got stopped by a traffic cop. "You're getting fined," said the officer. Half-eyed and slurring, the guy mumbled, "Another punishment, all right then, pour it." Next story. Courtroom setting, the defendant stands nervously before the judge. Defendant with a desperate voice, "Your Honor, I swear I'm completely innocent." Judge calmly, barely looking up, "Yeah, they all say that." Defendant suddenly excited, trying to sound logical. "Exactly, you see, if everyone says they're innocent, then that must mean I'm innocent too." Brief silence, then a soft chuckle from the prosecutor. Judge smirks, tapping the gavel lightly, "Nice try. Did you learn that in Crash Course Self-Defense for Criminals? Unfortunately for you, this court doesn't go by popular vote." Next story. A cowboy walks into a gun store in downtown Chicago and says loudly, "I need a revolver." The clerk replies, "Sure, we have two types, one with 6 rounds and another with 12. Which one do you want?" The cowboy pauses, walks over to a phone, dials a number and says, "Hello, is this First National Bank? How many people are inside right now?" After a moment of listening, he hangs up, turns back to the clerk, and says, "I'll take the 12-round one." Next story. Two friends are sitting together, chatting and reminiscing about their past love stories. Friend 1. "You won't believe this, but back in the day, a beautiful girl actually took her own life because of me." Friend 2 laughing, "Oh, come on, with a face like yours? You expect me to believe a beautiful girl died over you?" Friend 1 with a dramatic sigh, "Well, her parents arranged for her to marry me, and when she found out, she ran straight to the river, jumped in, and screamed, 'I'd rather die than marry that guy.'" Next story. On a train ride, a group of passengers started talking about good and bad health habits. A rosy-cheeked, chubby man proudly jumped into the conversation. "Look at me," he said. "I've never been sick a day in my life, all thanks to my simple lifestyle. Why," he continued, "from the age of 20 to 40, I lived a disciplined life, no late nights, no excess. Every single day, summer or winter, I went to bed at 9 p.m. and woke up at 5 a.m. I worked from 8 to 1, had a light lunch, rested for 30 minutes, then worked another for hours. After that, suddenly, a quiet man in the corner cut in and asked, 'Excuse me, but what were you in prison for?'" Next story. Two traffic inspectors are chatting. "Women drivers are often so distracted, no kidding. Just yesterday, I passed a lady driving over 80 kilometers per hour, and she was putting on lipstick using the rear view mirror. The sight startled me so much I nearly dropped my electric razor into my coffee cup. Next story. A traffic accident had just occurred on the street. Curious onlookers were crowding around, forming circle after circle to watch. One guy arrived late and couldn't get through the crowd. No matter how hard he tried. Frustrated, he shouted, "I'm the victim's father." Everyone turned in shock and immediately stepped aside to let him in. The victim was a dog that had just been run over. Next story. A female cyclist ran a red light. The police officer had to blow his whistle several times before she finally stopped. The officer sternly asked, "Did you hear the whistle?" The cyclist replied, "Yes, but I thought it was the starting signal." Next story. A group of students was riding together on a motorbike. While they were on the road, a police officer pulled them over. The officer asked, "Why are there 3 of you on one bike without helmets? Don't you know that's against traffic laws?" The students looked around in panic, then suddenly shouted, "Wait, where's the 4th guy? He was just here." The officer falls over in shock. Next story. On a flight to New York, a blonde girl was sitting in a first-class seat. A flight attendant approached her and said, "Excuse me, miss, please move to economy class since that's where your ticket is." The blonde girl replied, "I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm young, I'm going to New York, and I'm not moving anywhere." Not wanting to argue with the passenger, the flight attendant went to inform the co-pilot. He came over to the girl and repeated the request for her to move to economy class. She responded, "I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm young, I'm going to New York, and I'm not moving anywhere." The co-pilot then informed the captain, who said, "Let me handle this. My wife is blonde, I know how to deal with it." He walked over and whispered something in the girl's ear. Immediately, she got up and moved to economy class. Amazed, the flight attendant and co-pilot asked the captain, "What did you say to her? That was incredible. What's your secret?" The captain said, "Simple. I told her that first-class seats aren't going to New York." Next story. Denying everything, a car is swerving on the road, so the traffic police pull it over. The officer asks the driver, "Officer, I need to check your blood alcohol level. Please blow into this breathalyzer." Driver, "I can't do that, I have asthma." Officer, "Then a doctor will need to do a blood test." Driver refusing, "No, I have a condition that makes me prone to bleeding." Officer continuing, "Alright, then just walk straight along this white lane." Driver quietly, "I can't walk like that." Officer, "Do you still have an excuse to refuse?" Driver shouting, "Of course, because it's crooked." Next story. In court, judge, "When you committed the robbery, didn't you think about your poor, elderly father?" Defendant, "Of course I did, Your Honor. I thought about him the whole time I was picking things." Judge, "Then why did you still do it?" Defendant shrugging, "I looked everywhere, but couldn't find anything in the store that was good for him." Next story. In a courtroom during a trial for a DUI traffic violation, the defense attorney argued, "I agree that my client was kneeling on the highway, but that's not solid proof he was drunk." The judge replied, "True, that alone isn't proof. But what do you say about him trying to roll up the median strip like a carpet?" Next story. Police officer and thief walking down the street. The officer looks stern while the thief looks relaxed. Thief, excuse me, officer. Could you wait for me to buy a pack of cigarettes real quick? The officer stops, shocked, and looks at the thief in disbelief. Officer angry, what do you think you're doing? You think I'm a fool, you're just trying to escape. The officer stands there, shaking his head, then pauses and thinks, officer thinking to himself, should I go buy them? For him, the officer looks back at the thief. Officer, alright, fine, you stay here, I'll go buy them for you. The thief smiles slyly, the officer sighs, and the scene ends. Next story. A traffic police officer stopped a small car and thoroughly checked everything from the fire extinguisher to the first aid kit and road insurance. Everything was in perfect order. Alright, you're truly a model driver. Come on, let's have a 100-gram shot of vodka for the holiday. Oh no, are you trying to find me again? Don't worry, drink up. It's a holiday. After clinking glasses, the man got back into his car and drove away. The officer then picked up his radio and called. Hello, Station 3 calling Station 5. Sergey, it's Ivan. I still owe you 100 rubles, right? Take it from the white Lada that's about to pass by. The guy just had a drink. Next story. Behind the wheel, the frustrated wife asks her husband sitting beside her. This guy keeps running right in front of our car. Maybe he wants to die. What should I do now? Well, if you don't want to keep chasing him down, maybe get off the sidewalk and drive on the actual road. Next story. A husband and wife were driving home when suddenly a police car sped up behind them, overtook, and signaled them to pull over. The husband parked the car on the roadside. The police officer walked up to the window. Officer, this road has a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour. Do you realize we're going 75? Husband, no way. I was definitely driving at 60. Wife, that's not true. Honey, you were going at least 80. Officer, what 80? That's speeding. I'm writing you up for that. The husband fumed but kept quiet. The officer walked around the car and pointed at the front. Officer, looks like the right headlight's been broken for a while. Husband, no sir, it just broke earlier today when I hit a big rock. Wife, no, it's been broken since the beginning of the year. I've been reminding him to fix it. The officer added another fine. Now furious, the husband yelled, Husband, could you please shut your mouth for just a few minutes? The officer raised an eyebrow and turned to the wife. Officer, does he always yell at you like that? Wife trying to defend her husband, oh no, only when he's drunk. Normally, he's sweet and gentle. Officer, all right. That's another one, driving under the influence. Next story. Meeting each other on the sidelines of a traffic safety seminar, the train said to the car, my family line is strong, big, and long. Every time we rush forward, we look powerful and unstoppable, definitely more solid than your car lineage. Car smirking, that's true, but there are still some things you guys can't do like we can. Train curious, oh yeah, like what? Car grinning, you guys can only kill idiots who wander. Onto the tracks, we, on the other hand, can run them over. Anywhere we want. Next story. A lawyer had just opened the door of his BMW and stepped out onto the street when suddenly another car sped by and hit the BMW's door. When the police arrived at the scene, they saw him jumping up, looking very angry. Seeing the police, he grumbled and complained, look at this, they have caused such severe damage to my brand new BMW. The police officer surveyed the scene and said, you lawyers only care about material things. You're so focused on your damn BMW that you haven't even noticed your left arm has been knocked off. The lawyer panicked when he saw his arm was gone and shouted, "I need to find it immediately. I was wearing my Rolex on that wrist. Please, hurry up, hurry up." Next story. The Los Angeles Police Department LAPD, the Federal Bureau of Investigation FBI, and the Central Intelligence Agency CIA were all challenged to see who was the best. The president decided to give them a test. He released a rabbit into the forest and ordered them to catch it. The CIA took the case. They set up surveillance in the forest, gathered information from trees, and interrogated microbes as witnesses. After 3 months of investigation, they declared the rabbit didn't exist. The FBI took action. After 2 weeks of searching and finding nothing, they set the forest on fire, killed every living thing including the rabbit, and didn't even apologize. Then the LAPD took over. 2 hours later, they emerged from the forest, trailing a severely beaten bear. The bear screamed, okay, I'm the rabbit, I'm the rabbit."